So I guess Frog and Magus have a past. Frog's big brother Cyrus was a popular soldier. Oh, and Frog's name was Glenn when he was a kid. So Cyrus took Glenn on a journey and the two met up with Magus and Ozzy, one of his henchmen. Magus murdered Cyrus and turned Glenn into a frog. I reckon I'd probably try killing him too.
Tex said if he had to fight Magus, he just hit him with his truck. I told him he didn't have a truck. He then told me, well then I'd go to the blacksmith and get one.
He made his way to Magus's castle. It's this really scary looking, dark, creepy mansion with gargoyles and bats. Tex was a bit out of his element here.
I've heard a lot of bad things about this Magus character. Well, read. And by read, I mean pretended to read. I was walking down one of the hallways and I saw a bunch of familiar faces, which was nice. I even saw Chrono's mom. It was quite the reunion. Actually, it was a lot like my high school reunion in that I'm pretty sure it didn't really happen. I never graduated.
Tex looked at me and was like, is this that Magus's guy playing tricks on me again? And I said, I don't know, is it? I swear, it's like talking to a 6-year-old.
I got in a fight with some pink girl named Flea. Why in God's name would someone name their daughter Flea? Fleas are nasty bugs you pick up in dog houses. I should know. I rented one for 6 months.
It wasn't an easy win, but he managed to fight off Flea. This was a more confusing fight for Tex. Whatever. It used a lot of status effect spells that he was clearly not ready for.
After I killed her, I moved on to Slash, who was in the room to the left. This fight was a little bit easier. He was just trying to beat us in a sword fight. It really felt like I was getting to the end of the game. The fights were intense, the castle was scary, and my IBS was acting up.
After he beat those two, he headed down the new center path toward
Ozzy was this big green guy that liked to laugh at me. He kept leading us down this path with all these traps and axes and moving floors. It was like my uncle's basement all over again. When I finally got into a fight with that green freak, it was the biggest pushover ever. He was all talk and no action, like the Senate regarding this gun control bill. I've been getting my news from CNN lately. Also, I now know 5 reasons Trump is just the worst.
We gotta get him away from that computer.
So all the henchmen are down. Now it's time for the real fight. Magus.
Yeah, Magus's castle is creepy and all, but if he thinks he can make me run away, I've got one thing to say. My flag's got 45 plus stars on it, and not one of them runs.
I haven't seen Tex this pumped up since he thought a jackrabbit was trying to steal his bicycle.
This fight was so dramatic. There was music blaring, wind blowing, and magic flying. I knew I had to keep hitting him with the Massa Moon, so I made Frog keep doing that. He did a weird thing with spells that took me a while to figure out, but once I got the hang of it, I was able to keep up with him.
He finally beat Magus and the characters started talking. Looks like he was trying to summon Lavos the whole time. I had to remind Tex who Lavos even was.
Lavos? Ain't that a civil parish in the municipality of Figueira da Foz?
Somehow Lavos sent the party back in time to 65 million BC. Looks like Tex gets to see Ayla again. I'll get the Jurgens.
When we finally came to, we was in the past again. It was good to see the whole village, especially Ayla.
We placed about Jergens on the counter. Eric bet me lunch he'd take it. And I took him up for it. I know that dude's a raw dogger.
The man eats gourmet chips and salsa. There's no way he goes dry.
Looks like we're getting Chipotle today. I knew he was gonna go hard in the paint.
I keep an emergency bottle of Jergens in my pocket for when company is over and for out-of-house experiences. What do I look like, an animal? Back in the dino era, the reptiles attacked the village and took a bunch of people prisoner. One of them was Chrono. Honestly, I feel like Chrono is something literally nobody cares about, like South Dakota or the WNBA.
The chief of the little village recommended they use the dactyls, basically pterodactyls or the Akira Toriyama version of them.
A lizard flying? Can you just imagine? Whoever made this game is a hoot and a half. We flew to the dinosaur lair, and I gotta say, it was a real upgrade from the cave they were living in before. This place even had skulls for doors. Wait, does that mean they use their own kind for construction?
Tex navigated through the whole prehistoric castle thingy, and eventually he got to the end, where a couple bosses were waiting for him.
After he beat Nisbel for a second time, he marched out and found Azala again, only this time with a huge dinosaur dog thing. They looked like they were ready to go.
This was it. Humans versus reptiles. Bitter rivals till the end. Like Batman and the Joker, the Yankees versus the Red Sox, or any type of Asian versus all other types of Asians.
The master dinosaur kept waiting to shoot out big fireballs on the party. It was like you knew something bad was gonna happen, but you didn't know what it was. Like when you see a white person trying to rap, and you know that word is gonna have to come up.
We beat down Azala, like I knew we would. But when she was on the ground, she was mentioning some pretty upsetting things. Things about flames scorching the land, freezing crops, an all-female Ghostbusters remake. You know, evil omens.
Then it hits. Lavos. Boomtown.
Somehow the explosion didn't kill us. We were stuck in the side of the mountain looking at what used to be the dinosaur lair. We walked into the rubble and found yet another time portal. I hope this time it either sends us to the Civil War or Reagan era.